Good Wednesday evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett here in the King 5 newsroom, and we do have some gusty winds tonight in a very isolated spot. I'll tell you more about that in a moment, but this is kind of the beginning of what will be an active pattern that will take through the weekend. In fact, we've got a very potent low pressure system off the coast that's going to bring heavy rain, especially down towards California and portions of Oregon. We're kind of catching the tail end of those systems, so not expecting much in the way of rain here. It's just the consistency of it is the big story, and those gusty winds overnight tonight. Let's take a look at what we're looking at here, especially as we look across the Seattle Metro tonight. This is what we're looking at. Those sustained winds coming in the mid-20s right now. We've been seeing some gusts in excess of 30 miles an hour, expecting to see more of those overnight tonight. In fact, that wind advisory will be in place until 4 a.m. So two spots in particular that I'm watching, obviously the coast, but because those winds are coming from the east, they're going up and over the Cascades and really gusting. Those are called downslope winds. They pick up a lot of momentum when they're coming down the backside, or what we would refer to as the western side of the Cascades there. So that tan area, basically from Everett all the way down towards Mineral, can experience some gusty winds in the order of about 50 and possibly close to 60 miles an hour overnight tonight. Another minor issue that I'm tracking, everything you see there in that green is a coastal flooding advisory. That'll be in place from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Thursday. Again, nothing like the king tides we saw, but there will be some minor flooding of lots, parks, and roads. Minor road closures expected, especially off towards that northeastern tip of the Olympic Peninsula, so do bear that in mind. Winds continuing to come in from the east. In fact, this is how they stand. It's right about 9:35 on Wednesday that I'm recording this. So we've been seeing those winds steady and sustained pretty much across the region. Where you see those purples, that's where the big gusts are. That's in excess of 40 miles an hour. We're seeing plenty of those over top of the Cascades, and again in some of those foothill communities immediately to the west of them there. We've been seeing toppled trees. We've had some power outages throughout the night tonight, expecting more of that into early tomorrow. So those winds will remain gusty. We'll see those showers pass through overnight tonight, those coastal flooding concerns on Thursday, and then another system that moves in late Thursday, and then, forgive the cliche, but we're going to lather, rinse, and repeat all the way through the weekend. Take a look at this thing. This is a massive low pressure system. To put that into perspective, the top of it is pretty much parallel with central British Columbia, and the tail end of it is dragging all the way through into Baja, Mexico. This thing means business. Now, it is strengthened really rapidly, so you may have heard the term thrown around bombogenesis, or a bomb cyclone. Now, happy to report that there are no bombs involved, but what it really means is the rapid intensification of a low pressure system. In fact, back in school they used to teach us that if it dropped 24 millibars in 24 hours, that's bombogenesis. And what that means in a really simple sense is this thing's going to wind up and just do work across the entire west coast, but most especially California, where again, kind of a mixed blessing. They could use the moisture, but they're getting way too much, way too fast. Meanwhile, closer to home, we're tracking those showers basically making their way across Puget Sound and will continue to overnight tonight, but the bigger story remains those gusty winds that will continue to howl until about 4 a.m. and then they're going to start to back along the foothills, but remain gusty along the coast throughout the day and then change direction as the frontal boundary moves through. So we'll see things back off along Puget Sound, but they'll stay gusty all the way through the day on Thursday and into Friday as well. In fact, we could be looking at some big waves along the coast. I'm going to let this just roll so that you can see what I'm looking at. It's system after system after system that will continue to punch into the Pacific Northwest Thursday, Friday, Saturday. In fact, it looks even into early next week we could stay active. So overnight tonight, we'll get those showers out of here. Right around 2 a.m. we'll start to see some clearing. Tomorrow morning we catch a little bit of a break, possibly a sun break early, and then we're right back in it. In fact, by the time we get into the Thursday evening commute, more showers passing through, but again, nothing that looks like it's going to be too heavy duty, and snow levels staying right between about 3,000 and 4,000 feet. So we'll get some accumulations in the mountains, but we won't get them down low, and that's a fantastic blessing. Basically, just an inch, maybe up towards 8 inches near Baker. High temperatures tomorrow, another blessing. Because the flow is coming in from the south and southwest, we'll stay reasonably balmy, upper 40s and lower 50s, maybe even some mid 50s across the region. 7-day forecast shows more of the same as we move through into the weekend. In fact, it's just going to be one system after another as we continue to move through. But you know what? We got 3 days of sunshine in a row. Small price to pay for what's going to be an active weekend ahead. From the King 5 newsroom, I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett. Stay warm, stay safe, and keep looking up.